there has been many games released. So many, in fact, that Google doesn't know how many there are. With so many games, how many are actually worth your time? Today, I'm on a mission to help you figure that out. Here are the rules. Each game just gets 1 hour, no more, no less. And I'm here to give you an honest review. Is the game worth playing or should you skip it? Let's start with the story. In just 1 hour, they set the story up perfectly without dropping tons of lore, making you invest more emotionally as the story progresses.
It's a tool of the CIA. You bought us the time we needed.
Starting with a high-tech, beautiful, futuristic city of Tokyo, Japan, a mysterious woman walks into a store. But not just any store, this store is actually the in-game store Ryu Hayabusa, the main character which you play as, uses throughout the game. Marmusa's shop. So we got a shop. Let's check out the shop. She sits down and asks the store owner where to find Ryu. He explains she's part of the CIA and the fiends are trying to resurrect the Archfiend. As she's talking, a strange rat in the store reveals itself, which makes her feel uneasy. Then BAM! These ninjas break in, attacking her, which makes you think, why are they doing this? As they attack Sonya, Ryu shows up bringing that aura. You'd think Ryu's a farmer the way he's farming the aura. Straight smacking one ninja in the face with a ninja star. But in the chaos, the enemy ninjas grab Sonya and run away. This is what I love about this story. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black hits you with all you need to know. Fiends are planning to summon the Archfiend, and they will use any means necessary to fulfill that goal. Even working with evil, corrupt humans to make this plan succeed. It's up to you to stop it. As you delve deeper, the story fills in more details, formulating the plot and emotionally grabbing you in. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Okay, first impressions, amazing. Ninja Gaiden is labeled action, hack, and slash, and it delivers. That with non-stop action. As you travel through a chapter, you fight against tons of enemies. Enemies have various types. For instance, there's regular ninjas. Then we have the clan ninjas that have the fist blades. They also have a different moveset, more health, and do more damage. Then there are ranged minions that only specialize in ranged attacks, but have low amounts of health. With various enemy types, combat never feels boring because you're put into unique situations every battle against different amounts and variations of enemies. And if that wasn't amazing, let's get to the most epic part of the gameplay. And that's the weapons. You can find weapons in the chapters for all you explorers who look around. It's like a reward for exploring a level rather than running through it. You start the game with the Dragon Blade, a balanced katana that has good damage with average speed. This is the most balanced weapon in the game. It's good against every enemy you fight in this game. Then there's the first weapon I found, the staff, which is a low damage weapon but has high speed attacks. The staff spins and whirls around Ryu, knocking enemies in all directions, flying. This is good for high packs of enemies swarming you. I also unlocked 2 more weapons in just 1 hour of gameplay, leaving me with 4 weapons with their own unique combos, damage, and speed. My favorite weapon out of these 4 were the claws, which I personally thought were going to be fast, but are slow but devastating. They do tons of damage and literally rip through enemies. A couple of slashes and you can hit the enemies with a finisher. Finishers are triggered by hitting the heavy attack while an enemy is missing a limb, like an arm, leg, or even a head. Doing these finishers makes Ryu immune to damage for a little bit and finishes the enemy with a spectacular bloody end. These remind me of a fatality from Mortal Kombat. These finishers do not disrupt combat. They make it flow with a fast-paced action into an epic finisher, jumping back into that fast-paced combat, which is very refreshing and keeps combat very interactive. Adding to the combat, there's also magic or they call it Ninpo. These are your special moves you can use, but are limited to how many you have filled under your life bar. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black overall has amazing gameplay that draws you in and makes you want to play more. From the crazy amount of enemies, brutal and fun combat with fast-paced action and a solid challenge to keep you invested. Thinking of the challenge, there's more to combat than just waves of enemies. This game has tons of bosses and mini bosses that make chapters even more challenging. Let's talk about the first boss you come across at the end of chapter 1. Dude looks like a usual ninja with spiderish features that transforms into a grotesque ninja spider. This ninja spider has long combination of attacks and a huge life bar at this time in the game. This is the perfect way to introduce you to bosses in this game. Freakish fiends that put up a huge challenge for the player. Bosses in this game can do it all. They can grab, break your block, and they do a ton of damage. They make you pull out everything you learned along the game to defeat them. That being certain moves from weapons that can stagger them, or select magic or Ninpo moves that counter their playstyle or attacks. In chapter 1, you have a fireball Ninpo, which on startup makes you immune to attacks. So using this while the boss jumps in on you is a perfect way to dodge a deadly attack while damaging the boss. These situations and counters are used with other bosses. Each boss has its situations and counters that are used to keep boss fights very refreshing and very challenging, all while being fun. But is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black worth it, or should you skip it? Here is my uncut review after an hour of gameplay. What are my honest thoughts about Ninja Gaiden 2 Black? Is it worth playing, or should you skip it? Obviously, if you cannot tell by the gameplay, this is like the most perfect action game. Sort of like Devil May Cry. I miss this style of gameplay where it's just a chapter of you getting from point A to point B. I know it's linear, but what makes it cool is taking a second to explore all the techniques of all the different weapons and upgrades, and looking around. There's chests that upgrade your health, upgrade all these other things, you know, give you money, and it's so good. And it also gives you a challenge, and the challenge aspect is this game was pretty difficult. As you can see, I could get grouped on by a bunch of enemies. I can fight like a crazy ninja boss that does crazy damage in like a heartbeat. Like, this game is challenging, it's fun, it's very action based, it keeps you locked in, it wants you to play more. Like, I do not want to put this game down after this hour. And these games excel. Action games always excel, but this is just the formula on how to take an action game to the next level. I believe the point A to point B, crazy combat, a whole bunch of techniques to explore, multiple different weapons. This is a perfect action game. I give it a 10 out of 10 on the worth it scale. You should give it a shot and just explore this crazy ninja adventure, because this is so amazing. Let's go. Ninja Gaiden Black 2 is worth it.